Given a sequence, to obtain the nth term of such sequence, if it is an arithmetic progression, we use the formula nth term, which could be represented as Tn equal to A plus n minus 1 in brackets times D. A is the first term, D is the common difference, and then n is the position of the term you're dealing with. One can also go further to obtain the sum of any first nth term of that sequence. So maybe the first 5 terms, the first 7 terms, the first 20th term, as the case might be. How do you obtain the sum of an arithmetic progression? We use the formula sum, that is n subscript n, equal to n all over 2, open bracket, 2a, open under bracket, n minus 1, close bracket times d, then you close your bracket. This formula is just what you need when dealing with the nth term of an AP and the sum of the first nth term of an AP. We're going to use this knowledge to address this question that we have here on the board. The third term of an AP is 34, and the 17th term is given as minus 8. We are required to find the sum of the first 20 terms. Our problem in this question is we do not know the first term A and the common difference D of this AP. It is important for us to bear in mind that if we know the first term and the common difference, then our problem is solved when dealing with arithmetic progression. So, in solving this problem, we are going to find a way to obtain A and D first. And how do we do that? The third term, T3, is given as 34. And the question went further to say the 17th term, T17, is equal to minus 8. Given the value of these terms, that is, the third term and the 17th term, we can calculate the value of A and D, that is, the first term and the common difference of this AP. How do we do that? We have to remember the nth term formula, which is Tn equal to A plus n minus 1 times D. We are going to substitute into this formula and then solve whatever we see there to obtain the value of A and D. Solving for T3. The value of T3 is 34. So in place of this Tn, which I will be using T3 for, that is going to give us A plus n. The position of this term is the third term, so n is equal to 3, then minus 1 times D. This whole term is equal to 34 according to the question. T3 is 34. If we solve this, I'm going to just focus on this part now. Is that okay? Because T3 has this value of 34. Open up these brackets. This will give us A 2D equal to 34. We shall call this equation 1 because there are two things whose value we don't know. And we can't solve this equation here. So we'll call it equation 1. We'll proceed and do the same thing for T17, whose value is given to be minus 8. So similarly, T17 will be equal to, using this formula, A plus n minus 1, where n is 17, because this is the 17th term. 17 minus 1 would give us 16. Anyway, let me write it out. Then D. The value of this, according to the question, is minus 8, which means that A plus 16D will be equal to minus 8. We shall call this equation 2. Remember, at this point, I'm focusing on this part of the equation. So call this equation 2. We have obtained two equations with two unknowns. So we are going to solve these two equations simultaneously. If I solve them simultaneously, I will obtain the value of A and D. Then my problem is as good as solved. Let's do that quickly. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. We can use a substitution method or elimination method to solve the problem. I would prefer to use elimination method because A in equation 1 and A in equation 2, they are the same. So I can easily subtract one of the equations from the other to eliminate A. Okay, let's do that. I want to do equation 1 minus equation 2. If you work on that, A minus A goes off 0, so you've eliminated that. 2D minus 16D would give us minus 14D. Then equal to 34 minus 8. Remember, I am subtracting equation 2 from equation 1. That is, I am doing equation 1 minus equation 2. So this will be 34 minus the operation I am carrying out, subtraction. Then this 8 has minus, so it's going to be minus 8. Eventually, we are going to get 34 plus 8, which would give us 42. Solving for D, therefore, you'd see that the value of D will give us 42 divided by minus 14. Right, so 42 divided by minus 14. What are we going to get? Let us find out. Is that okay? 42 divided by minus 14. So this gives us minus 3. It simply means that the common difference of this problem is equal to minus 3. Okay, now let us proceed to obtain A. Having gotten D from solving this simultaneous equation, I can use either equation 1 or 2 to obtain my first term A. I prefer to use equation 1. I want to avoid this minus, even though this number is bigger than this. But although this one is also bigger than this. Anyway, you can use any of the equations to get your A. The choice is yours. I have decided to use equation 1. So using equation 1, A plus 2D. D is minus 3. So that's going to be equal to 34. And then A, 2 times minus 3 will give us minus 6. Plus times minus will give us minus. So this will be minus 6 equal to 34. Therefore, from here, we can solve for A by taking minus 6 to this side. And then the value of our A is equal to 34 plus 6. The value of A is equal to 34 plus 6. 34 plus 6 will give us 40. This simply tells us that the first term of this arithmetic progression is 40, and the difference between any two consecutive terms, any two close terms, the difference is minus 3. We shall use the value of this A and D to calculate for the sum of the first 20 terms. How do we obtain the sum of the first 20 terms of this sequence? I've told you the formula from the start of this video lesson. It's simply Sn equal to, good. So this is the sum of any nth term of an AP. So we are going to substitute now. This Sn we are summing for the first 20 terms. So n will be equal to 20. Sum of the first 20 terms. Come over here, 20 over 2. Then we are opening up this bracket 2 times A. A is 40. Then plus n, which is 20 minus 1. Multiplied by the common difference minus 3. All that is left is to simplify this. I can say that this 2 can reduce this to 10. This is 80, this is 19. 19 times minus 3, you know what we are going to get. Sum of the first 20 terms will now be 10. Open bracket 80. And then coming over to this, 19 times minus 3. Because 20 minus 1 is 19. 19 times 3 is going to give us about 57. This term here will give us minus 57. Plus times that minus 57 will be minus 57. 80 minus 57 will give us what? So that is 23. So this eventually becomes 10 times 23. 10 times 23. If you work out 10 times 23, the sum of the first 20 terms will now give us 230. And that, of course, becomes the answer of this question, the sum of the first 20 terms of this AP. The correct option is D. What do you think? What would be the 11th term of this AP? Find out and drop your comment, your answer in the comment section. Okay? And what do you think will be the sum of the first 11 term of this sequence? So find the value of the 11th term, okay, of this sequence, and find the sum of the first 11 terms of the sequence. I'll be right there in the comment section to observe your answer. Remember to subscribe to the MAT101's YouTube channel if you've not done so. Invite your friends to do the same. Like and comment and share MAT101's videos. I hope to meet you in our next video lesson. Until then, do have a wonderful time.